Welcome back to the Automotive Blockchain channel, everyone. In the last video I released, we discussed VeChain's Project Verify car with BMW and some additional details that had come out. Now that said, in there, keep in mind this is VeChain. This particular paragraph stood out to me. Here it is. Once the decentralized application is ready for production, it can be marketed to all car manufacturers, including BMW's competitors, reducing solution's unique selling point. So the thing that stands out here is including BMW's competitors. So I want you to keep that in mind as we dig into here.
How do you take control of a world that doesn't stand still? That's where we come in. We're creating a digital representation of the physical world. Every road, every building, every vehicle, every device, every street sign, every traffic light, everything. To help you find the best path and anticipate what's ahead. To empower your fleet to run faster and more efficiently. To ensure your advertising reaches the right audience. And to let you optimize your supply chain like never before. All this is now a reality. At the heart of HereTechnologies is the reinvention of the thing we used to call a map, continuously updating and evolving from 2 dimensions to 3.
So who is Here? Now I know many of you may have never heard of HereTechnologies. I have to admit that not until about a month ago that I actually hear of them, but this is who they are. They have 8,000 employees, and on their site it goes on to read, in 1985 we begin with a simple goal to digitize mapping and pioneer in-car navigation systems. Over the next 3 decades as Navtech and Nokia, yes Nokia, we've built a legacy in mapping technology. Today, we're creating living 3-dimensional maps that grow upwards, breathing with layers of information and insights, and we're looking beyond. So that is how they introduce themselves here on their in the About Us section of the company. Now, what about their beyond? So back in CES 2020, earlier this year, they were at CES, and here's what they had to say. At CES, we're demonstrating our power of our platform. I want everyone to listen closely to what's on their platform, all right? Here Navigation on Demand, an SAS-based solution that reinvents vehicle-centric navigation for the 2020s. What is every manufacturer focused on? Electric vehicles, autonomously and semi-autonomously driven vehicles. Now, ready for a full OEM program deployment? Here, Navigation on Demand is navigation as a service, providing an experience that is dynamic, fresh, and always upgradable with new features and services while retaining all the benefits of being deeply embedded in the car. And they have a couple of different kind of releases. They're launching Here Lanes, Here Last Mile, Here HDGNS, and the one that I'm going to just read a full statement about is Here Public Transit and Here Intermodal are now available for organizations incorporating commuter-friendly routing and for multiple modes of transportation into their applications. So links will be in the description about this. Definitely go in and read that, but let's focus on a couple of other things, and that is launched a year ago, Here Marketplace. Listen closely. Here Marketplace has grown to become a major hub for enterprises seeking to buy, sell, exchange, and share location-centric data in consistent, secure, and privacy-compliant fashion. What is that sounding like to you? Is that sounding like VeChain? Maybe it is. Let's dig a little bit deeper. These enable automotive manufacturers to make car sensor data available to third-party service providers in a manner that is safe, secure, non-discriminatory, and in adherence with privacy regulations. Here is the kicker, drumroll please. A leading global automotive company already plans to take advantage and make a range of car sensor data available to third parties via the Here Marketplace neutral server functionality. Wait a minute. A leading global automotive company already plans to take advantage? Well, what did we just read over here in this? It can be marketed to all car manufacturers, including BMW's competitors. BMW and VeChain working together with Verified Car and their data. So I'm just here to say, is it backed in there somewhere? VeChain, is that who they're talking about? Just something to think about. If you think that could be the case, in the comments, go ahead and tell me what you think about that. moving on to who their strategic partners are. Real quick, I'm not going to go into this too deep, but the links will be in the description. Think about it. How many of these companies are connected with Ripple or other major DLT or blockchain companies that are out there? AWS, ESRI, Microsoft, Oracle, SAP. Let's focus on a couple of others here. Audi, BMW, Bosch. And for those of you that are thinking about the Audi side of things, Audi actually had placed this technology in the Audi A8 and the new guidance system with respects to BMW. BMW has been with Here back in the day when they were Navtech and Nokia since 1994, and they had placed that system into the 7 series. So that's something you keep in mind. And remember, I just mentioned AWS as one of the strategic partners. Well, keep in mind that Amazon recently purchased, this year it was announced, that Bezos had purchased Zoox. Zoox is creating autonomous mobility from the ground up. They have their own autonomous vehicles that they are creating. That's something to keep in mind as we begin to look at this. So going back to the strategic partners, and one of the last 2 points I want to make, all right? First point is Intel. What in the world does Intel have to do with it? Intel purchased a company by the name of Mobileye. One of the most successful acquisitions in Intel's history is what comes off of the Intel newsroom. Mobileye's business model encompasses the entire automated driving value chain, including the front-facing camera that powers most of today's advanced driver assistance systems. That's the ADAS's, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. Condition autonomy, also known as Level 2+, and the self-driving system for robo-taxis and consumer autonomous vehicles. So you have Intel in there. The last point that I want to make, which is a big one. When you think about, these are all of the shareholders. Look at this. Audi on down through Intel. You also see Mitsubishi, NTT, and Pioneer. Look at all the big, very, very large shareholders. It was announced that Mitsubishi and NTT bought stake in location firm Here. How much did they acquire? A jointly acquired 30% of the Dutch firm HereTechnologies. So when you look at all of these shareholders and the billions upon billions of dollars they represent in the automotive marketplace, and Mitsubishi Corp and NTT, 2 Japanese firms, have come in and jointly acquired 30% of HereTechnologies. And for those of you that don't realize this, Mitsubishi Corporation, as part of their umbrella, is a bank. And that bank, I believe, is the 3rd or 4th largest company, or largest banks in the world. And NTT is Nippon Telegraph and Telephone, or is it Telephone and Telegraph? But they are the largest company that does telecommunications in Japan. So to close this out, everyone, here you have all of these shareholders, and Mitsubishi, NTT, they are owning 30% of the company. Autonomously driven vehicles must be interlinked with navigation systems to know where all of the other bots and everything else are at on the street. These particular companies here are leading the way in how autonomously driven vehicles, as well as navigation of those vehicles, are going to be throughout the 2020s and beyond. So hey, let me know what you think of the video. Please go ahead and like, comment as you will, and don't forget to smash that bell if you want to receive notifications for future videos. See you next time.